operate across parties like this, I think is hugely important, because I don't actually think that the reason we're in this mess is tribalism in a party sense, curiously. It's tribalism in a kind of English national sense. What Brexit is, essentially, if you look at it historically and sociologically, is an outbreak of very serious and quite extreme, for England at any rate, nationalism, led originally by Nigel Farage and the people around him, who sought to get an extremely chauvinistic and exclusive form of nationalism going, which involved essentially not only withdrawal from Europe, but extreme hostility also to the other parts of the United Kingdom too. It's no accident that a big part of the Brexit dialogue is, have you heard this phrase, Ireland is the tail wagging the dog? I mean, can you think of any more insulting way of describing our relations with our neighbour, but also pretty intense anti-Scottish feeling and not much pro-Welsh feeling either. So this chauvinism, as I see it, is rejected in pretty equal party measure by the sensible people in all of the major parties. Why has it got such a hold? The reason it's got such a hold is the reason why nationalism often gets hold. It's this toxic combination of economic weakness, insecurity, and nationalism together. And it took off in a really serious way with the combination of higher levels of immigration from the mainland, plus the economic slump after 2008, plus the beginning of a strong nationalist political movement. So that's what we're struggling against. And we have different political traditions. We heard that the Conservative Party is the party of business, that's true. The Liberal Party is the party in many ways of internationalism and liberal values, and the Labour Party is a social democratic party. But the key point about it, from the viewpoint of those of us here this afternoon, is you can do nothing to forward any of these agendas if you wreck your economy, turn the country into the mid-Atlantic, and start severing your relations with your neighbours. And those key elements of Brexit will destroy the prospects of us being able to improve the country at all. But the truth is, and I can say this because we're in such a desperate situation with Brexit, that we can be a bit more generous to our opponents than we normally are. If I can be completely truthful, now, once we've sorted out Brexit and we return to party political battles, I will deny that I ever said this. I will say it this afternoon because it's so important. What is the truth in terms of what you want as a country? You want a dose of pro-business conservatism, you want a strong dose of social democracy, you want a strong dose of liberalism, you want to mix the three together, and then you get a pretty well-governed and successful country. So ideally what you want is because of the ideally what you want is something like Switzerland, where you have perpetual coalitions of all of them. So we all have to sort out our differences, and we have at any one time a government programme which is pro-business, pro-liberal and pro-socialist. It is actually possible to marry all those. Indeed, my good friend John Tanner and I, who's a Labour councillor here, we were in different parties when I was a city councillor, but he, I, and I think a good Conservative here, we could probably put a programme together in 10 or 15 minutes that would meet that priority. But the key point about it is what it must embrace, it must be at the heart of it, is an economy that works, a trading system that works, a set of relations with our neighbours within the United Kingdom and on the continent that work, and peace. All of those things are indispensable to being able to advance any of our agendas. And that's why we're all here together united, because unless we can defeat this Brexit menace, then the prospects of being able to do any of that are going to be weakened. Can I just say briefly what I think we need to do now, and part of the reason why I was so keen to come here to give a really big boost to the young European movement here in Oxford. It's action that matters now, and I want to address the first three of my ones, particularly to the students and young people here. I think we need to start campaigning in a really serious way for this coming referendum for votes for 16 and 17-year-olds. And I think it's students that can take the lead in that. I was 2 weeks ago at Cheney School speaking, and a meeting of sixth formers. I thought they were all dragooned to come because they all turned up. There were more than 200 of them there. And in fact, it turned out it was a voluntary meeting. But I find in schools and universities that you get very large crowds who come back because they're so concerned about the Brexit issue. And they are overwhelmingly against Brexit, pro-referendum and pro-votes for 16, 17-year-olds. It's essential part of our campaign focusing on young people is a campaign for votes for 16 and 17-year-olds. And I hope that can be led here from Oxford. Secondly, a chilling statistic. The Electoral Commission estimate that a quarter of 18 to 24-year-olds are not even registered to vote. That's a hangover from what I think was a very mistaken decision taken 5 or 6 years ago, just to move from household registration to individual registration. It's a good idea in principle. The principle is a very liberal idea. What the effect of it, though, has been to see huge numbers of young people dropping off the register entirely because they haven't been registering themselves. And that's part of the reason why we've had lower youth turnout in elections. There are far fewer young people on the register to start with, particularly students who are mobile. So one of the things I hope that this cross-party campaign can do here in Oxford, where we need a really high turnout, is to see that college by college, lodgings by lodgings and all that, that people are registered. So all of your friends, everyone you meet, check whether they're registered. It only takes 2 minutes to go on your gov.uk to register, getting people registered. The third is, and this applies now to everyone here, is of course to lobby MPs who at the moment aren't fully decided as to what they're going to do, or at the moment are, how can I put this delicately, somewhat on the fence, so there are quite a few. And you have two MPs in the city of Oxford and a number around. In the city of Oxford, you have one MP, Leyland around here in West Oxford, who's going to be absolutely fine on Brexit, has been in favour of the people's vote and all that. In East Oxford, you have my very good friend, Annalise Dodds, who's a former MEP and is personally extremely pro-European. But how can I put this delicately about my party? We haven't yet gone the full distance in terms of support for people's vote and stopping Brexit outright. And I think, given that her voters and her wider constituency will be strongly pro-Remain, I think ensuring that she hears those views, hears them very loudly, particularly from young people in her constituency, I think that's important. You've also got MPs in the surrounding constituencies, one or two of whom I think are very persuadable. Ed Vacy, who is in Wantage, and the Wantage constituency comes very close to Oxford, so there may be some of you who are only Ed Vacy's voters here. I can see one, there may be a few. Now, Ed was very interesting. In the debate last Tuesday, he said he thought that we had to put an end to no deal immediately, and that he didn't think that her deal was, the Prime Minister's deal was viable. We had to find a new way forward. The way he actually voted was slightly peculiar. He voted for one of the stopping no deal options, but not for one of the others. And then he voted with the motion to reopen the Irish backstop, which of course is the fantasy land, thinking that by constantly chipping away at the deal the Prime Minister's already negotiated and making it steadily more Eurosceptic, there might be a way through. Well, I think Ed's got to come off the fence, and the logic of the position that he set out in the House of Commons last Tuesday is that he should vote against the deal second time round and vote for the people's vote. So those of you who've got are in those constituencies, or even if you're not, because you can still write to them and contact them, I'd strongly urge you to do so. And then finally, in terms of things that we can do, the stronger the European movement is, both at local level and at national level, the stronger the voice of anti-Brexit will be. So if you're not a member of the European movement, can I urge you to join? Not only because it keeps you in touch with what's going on in terms of pro-European and anti-Brexit activities nationally, but it's very important to be able to demonstrate that we are more than the sum of our parts. And I've just become Vice Chair of the European Movement. Stephen Dole, a former Conservative Cabinet Minister, is the Chair. We've got a lot of prominent Liberals. The European Movement, of course, was founded by Winston Churchill now 70 years ago. And it was a very significant piece of the political landscape in Britain in the 1950s, 60s and 70s. But it's quite a sign of what's happened over the last 20 years, that it virtually collapsed and vanished in the course of the 2000s and 2010s. We're rebuilding it. There are now 200 local branches of the European Movement, including here in Oxford, where you have one of the most successful ones in the country. But if I can let you into a secret, there are still only 7,000 members of the European Movement nationally. 7,000. 3 years ago we had the referendum, the number went under 1,000, which sort of sums up the problem we've had in making a powerful European case in the country. At its peak, the records have been lost apparently, which is quite symbolic. At its peak, I think the European movement had over 100,000 members in the 1950s. So that shows you the